Now, we've had a bit of a break after that last round. I was left a bit traumatized with a couple of different takes. So we're now going to just have a nice, simple discussion talking about the benefits of Himiway to our body, our mind, general life. Do we look good in front of the ladies, that sort of thing? Or if you're a lady, do you look good to the other ladies, make them feel bad? Now then, we've already talked about when and where do you ride. We've talked about the length. We've talked about your reason for it. Now, what physical well-being benefits have you seen in yourselves and in others? Let's start with Ryan. What physical benefits have you seen since you started riding?
Yeah, so like I said before, very busy lifestyle. Kids, it's hard to get out. So when I was younger, going to the gym was much easier. Going out rock climbing, enjoying nature, going on hikes, much easier to do. But once the family started growing, this became very difficult.
Yeah.
So this is a way I can get out quick, still get some exercise. And so for me, that's the biggest benefit. It does drive me to go out and exercise. If I didn't have it, maybe I would just stay home. Or if I needed something that took longer time, I might not do it.
I see. What was one of your targets weight loss? So like, I know that back in 2020, we all had the lockdowns. I'm still working off the lockdown, unfortunately. But have you managed to lose a lot of weight since then, or has it more or less been the same? Like, how was that in terms of like weight loss or general like fitness?
Yeah, so I've lost a little bit of weight. I don't really track it. It's not a big goal of mine, but really just getting out and exercising. Like Gary said earlier, the cardio exercise. I think, like you said, in COVID lockdown, sitting all the time, not a lot of movement, very sedentary lifestyle. So it's good to get out and do that exercise. And yeah, I've noticed some weight loss, but like I said, I don't really track it.
Ah, good for you. Gary, what about yourself?
Before I got the e-bike, I used to do a lot of walking, which, it's a good exercise, but it's really not much of a total body exercise. And if you're looking to shed a few pounds, which really isn't a big concern of mine, but I use the bike mainly because I was able to get back on a bike. And, I chose the e-bike, as I explained earlier, for a number of reasons. One was to get exercise in my bad leg, as well as my cardiology aspect of it. And I find that it's really improved my stamina. Like, for example, if I do decide to walk, I can go probably 50% further now than I used to go without much effort.
I see.
And on the e-bike, I've been able to improve from, I started out with a kind of a moderate pace. I would do like a couple miles out, couple miles back. And now I've got to the point where on a normal run, I'll do, 10 or 15 miles out, 10 or 15 back, on the bike. And from the mental health aspect, it's, as I said earlier, I've joined a bike club, cycling club. So now I'm out socializing with people, which after spending, a bit of time in the lockdowns and, with the lack of travel capabilities, most of the conversations was over social media or on the cell phone. And it's great from the mental aspect to get back in front of people, to be able to talk to them, socialize, sit down, have a cup of coffee, eat breakfast and dinner. Really helps in that aspect. And at my age, normally both physically and mentally you start to decline. There's just no way around it. It happens to everybody. And this, I found that, since I've started in the last 6 months, things have improved, both physically and mentally.
Excellent. Just out of curiosity with you guys, I found it really difficult during lockdown. Did you guys do any exercise while you were at home during that time, or did you just kind of veg and grow?
Yeah,
I definitely grew.
The first few weeks, I think we all were pretty gung-ho about maybe working out at home. This is very difficult. Maybe the first month I was kind of dedicated to it, but it tailed off really quick.
What did you end up doing instead?
Playing with the kids, watching TV shows, doing work. not much.
Well, better not. Gary, did you do any exercise during lockdown?
I'm not much of into the physical, exercise side of it.
So, like, just generally speaking, you weren't really going...
Really, I probably put on an extra 15 pounds because I love to cook, and when you're bored, you cook and eat. And it's just the way it worked. But now, after the initial period, I did get back to where I started walking again, and it was also one of the things that eventually led me to looking for other types of exercise, something to kind of try and get back in shape.
It's always quite difficult, isn't it? I tried swimming for a while, but there's always too many kids. You just try and do a lap, you get splashed.
And how'd that work during lockdown?
Well, my sink's not quite big enough, and I don't have a tub. So
It's hard, swimming in the shower.
Swimming vertically in the shower. There's one option. Another option is just like doing press-ups and stuff, but then you get tired of that and you just let your chest grow out, not in the ways you want as a man. But oh well. But yeah, then obviously the Himiway e-bikes was a massive help. My thighs grew out like thunder, so that needed to reduce. When you actually managed to start getting back out, what was your first priority exercise, or was it just enjoying the open air again?
Yeah, so for me, exercise, especially traditional exercising, kind of boring for me. Like I said, avid outdoorsman. I love being in nature, so that was more important to me. Just getting out and having space and freedom to move around. So, but that's where I like to get my exercise.
I see. And Gary?
And for me, it was just, getting back outside and being able to walk, to get back to my walking exercise in the beginning. Because after being, cooped up, you get cabin fever.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly.
You certainly need something to break that monotony.
Oh, definitely. Well, I guess we've covered mental well-being, which is very important, especially nowadays. Now, the benefit for daily life. So how often do you ride? Like, is it every day, or is it just every couple of days? Like, as you do it purely out of just relaxation, is it something that you try and keep on top of, or is it like just a couple of days when you got time?
Yeah, whenever I have time, I try to get out.
So it's a bit fluctuating.
I can't say it's every day.
No.
Especially during the school year, there's always an activity with the kids, which once again is great. I love my kids. But yeah, anytime I have some free time or the wife has free time, then I can get out and enjoy my peace.
That's true. I haven't got kids yet. My wife and I are going to be trying soon, but
good luck.
Yeah, marriage is already like a time black hole. I mean, it's a good black hole, but it's a black hole nonetheless. And then time, oh God. How was there a big change with your regular life when you had kids?
Very much so. Very much so. That became the main thing to do. Like I said, I couldn't really go out on hikes. I couldn't go rock climbing. These things just went away. And financially, everything becomes more devoted to that. So yeah, big change, but wonderful change.
Awesome. What about yourself, Gary? I know that you've already talked about your family life, talked about your club, but as you grew up having a child, how did it affect your time, especially like going outdoors or just generally doing your hobbies?
You mean with my son?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he certainly was first priority. For the quite a few years. Until he's an adult now, actually, but you're devoted to the family life, and in particular, making sure that you provide for your children. In my case, my son. And, I did things like coaching, sports, basketball, football, soccer.
So you're already quite an active guy.
Yeah, when I was younger, I was quite active. And I used to do a lot of regular bicycling when I was younger. And then I also played a lot of golf, which is how I ended up ultimately damaging my knee.
Oh dear.
I tore a cartilage, and it never really, I had surgery, but it never really healed properly.
I see. There's one to look out for. I'm very worried. They say that some injuries you can get are just hereditary. My dad has a bad hip, and I'm wondering that when am I going to start needing to rely more on the assisted pedal than I would otherwise. Just out of curiosity, do you guys own cars?
Yeah.
So how often would you find yourself going to the shop with a car than with a Himiway?
It depends. If I need a lot of groceries, which is quite often, I take the car. I don't have the space on the bike for it. If I need to go pick up a gallon of milk or something, then I can take the bike in, and the shop's not too far away.
Interesting. Gary, what about you?
Yeah, I have a car, but I've been using it a lot less since I purchased the Zebra. The capacity of the Zebra, I can put. I built a small box to put on the back when I want to go do my normal daily shopping.
You made your own?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I made an adapter. Just
lovely.
it works out okay. I use it for when I want to do just a normal shopping run for groceries or small things. Naturally, if you're going to get a large quantity of something or a heavier appliance or something like that, you need a vehicle. But I'm mainly interested in letting the car parked, and I'll take the e-bike. It's a change in mentality. And once you get used to it, you get that mindset where, rather than jumping in the car to go 5 miles to get a cup of coffee, jump on the e-bike.
Definitely. It's a more productive way of getting to and from. I remember seeing a show once. It was overweight English people going over to America to meet even more overweight Americans. And there was this one episode in particular where there was this woman who would drive from her house to the end of her property to pick up her mail.
In the car?
Yeah. I didn't even know such things existed, and then I came here. I mean, mind you, English have got plenty of fat folks ourselves, especially in the north. A lot of pie. But getting back on topic here. So generally, the flexibility is what I'm driving at here, really. Pun intended-ish. How flexible do you find the bike in terms of your day-to-day lives? So, as we know here, Gary, you've done some shopping with it, so that's good to know that you're finding uses other than just exercise. But do you tend to find that it can be easier when you're riding around the city? Because I tend to find traffic is a nightmare where I live. And you can circumvent a lot of that with a bike.
Yeah, traffic for me is not too big of a deal with a smaller city, but it is definitely much nicer. No long lines at a red light. For flexibility in life, like I said, with 3 kids, commuting to school, to work,
that's all I'm really
not
possible
always
with
possible on the bike. But when I do have the opportunity, I do prefer to take the bike. So it has become more flexible in that sense. You don't always need to use the car, but reality of life with a big family, you need the car still.
Yeah, I tend to find the same. Now, moving on slightly, COVID. I say slightly. No, we're saying the COVID word. Now, we got out of the lockdown a while ago, but a lot of people are still worried about the effects, especially in the coastal cities. You're still seeing people wearing a lot more masks. Are you particularly concerned about COVID at this point in your day-to-day lives? Are you still keeping precautions, like wearing masks, like washing your hands?
Of course, wash out all the hands. All the hands.
How many hands do you have?
Too many. Too many hands in the house. So cleanliness is very important. I think we're all strong and healthy. We're not too worried about it now, but it is a worry we do have. So
you're still worried about the looming threat of COVID, as it were?
Yeah.
Gary, what about yourself?
It's in the news, but at my age, my life is not built around COVID. When I get sick, I go to a doctor.
That's fair.
If I need to go to a hospital, which I've done, on occasion for certain things, so be it.
I see.
I don't let COVID drive my life.
No, you let the Himiway do that.
I use the Himiway.
I'm a salesman, you guys. But we'll talk to our more concerned party here then. So Ryan, you're concerned about COVID. Do you find that the Himiway bike helps like keep you further away from it in terms of like you're not around as many people, or do you still worry that you might catch it if you're riding around on the city?
I'm not too worried about catching it. We take precaution, but as Gary said, we don't let it drive our lives. But I do enjoy that since I do go on trails and stuff, it is less crowded. So I am a bit more conscious now about crowds of people, and this is a great activity that doesn't involve crowds like that at the gym. The biggest for me is I don't want to bring something home to the kids and get them sick.
Yeah, it's not the best Christmas present, I tend to find. No, not really. All right, our last little question I have in terms of physical well-being is disability. Now, like as we know, bad knee, my dad, bad hip, me, balding. It's not a disability, but I feel like it should because I'm feeling bad about it. How do you feel in terms of disabled people that have some need for help, but they can't exercise as they would? Would you recommend a Himiway bike to someone who is disabled, generally on the spectrum?
Absolutely. Absolutely, no question about it. Because like I said, for me, I hadn't ridden a bicycle of any type for 20 plus years. And, with my knee, and I could only walk so far to where it wasn't the right kind of exercise.
I see.
And then, when I can tell you in the last 6 months since I've got been using the Zebra and mainly forcing myself to pedal, it has improved my I call it my bum knee or my bad knee. The joint has improved significantly. I no longer have pain every day. In fact, the more I pedal, the less pain I have.
That's actually quite interesting to hear. If I stand still for too long, I tend to get like a bad knee, especially in the humid.
Yeah, like
times.
The same with me.
Yeah.
If I stand or sit for a long period of time, then my knee will hurt.
That's curious.
But if I'm exercising it,
it doesn't really.
And the pedaling, with the, it moves the joint and actually increases the flexibility.
Wonderful. And this actually gets us on to our next subtopic here, which I'm happy has done so smoothly, is the mental well-being. So do you feel like this has given you a new lease on life?
Oh yeah, it's got me up and out of off the couch, out of the house, and into the fresh air, and back to where I'm meeting people. Like I said before, I have a group that I meet for breakfast a couple times a week. I belong to a cycle club where we go riding a couple times a week. And, I mean, it gives you something to look forward to besides the next TV show.
I see.
Or listening to a song on the radio or television. It's, from that aspect, it's been great.
It's excellent. I'm really happy to hear that. My dad always said to me when I was growing up, the best thing you can do for your general mental well-being is just to make a difference. And with your cycling, it seems like you've made quite a few. So that's absolutely excellent. Now, Ryan, you do it recreationally, you do it to get away from the kids. How stressful do you find family life?
Well, it can be very stressful, very, very stressful, especially with lockdown. So the kids aren't going to school. Me and my wife are both working at home. I feel like I'm going crazy, and I'm sure she probably went more crazy. So for me, it was definitely to get out and just have peace of mind. I can go out and just shut my brain off and enjoy being in the moment. And I'm sure my wife appreciates it very much.
Out of curiosity, does the wife ever talk about getting a bike and riding with you?
We've talked about it, but I don't think it's quite her thing. And she's very busy with work. With
the smile that I just saw on your face very quietly, I think that you're implying that you're a bit happy about that.
Maybe.
I tend to be the same. I'm very glad that my wife doesn't like 40k because, well, she's a better painter than me. I'd feel quite bad. But that's a whole different thing entirely. Now, as well as that aspect of just kind of getting out there, getting free, has it given you any new directions in life or any like objectives in life in terms of like getting out there, exercising, or just generally enjoying like the wild areas? What directions has it taken you in, like mentally speaking?
So, when the kids are younger, I'm feeling busy, and I feel like I lost touch with nature and the environment. So by doing this activity, it pulled me back into these things, and I was able to appreciate it once again. But also once you're going on these trails and other places, then you see the problems that might exist there or things that can be fixed, and it's helped me want to get more involved with the community, especially for taking care of the trails and protecting our environment around that.
Wonderful. Do you ever like to just take it around just to show off? Like go to the big city, go, hey, look at me, big boy with a big bike.
Yeah, that's fun. Maybe don't do it purposefully to show off, but it happens.
I would.
Yeah.
I'd put spinning rims on my bike if I could. Get a big hat with a feather on it. Look at me, peasants, for I have Himiway.
It's macaroni.
My wheels are chonk. What have you got? Moving on. That went into a weird bit of a direction. Now, we've talked or touched on the eco-friendly benefits that you also get from it. How do you feel in terms of gas prices? Because recently, as of this recording, gas prices have been fluctuating quite unpleasantly, especially in certain areas in the West. Europe's had really bad gas prices, mostly with electric and heating, but I know that gas in America has shot up quite a bit. Do you have any thoughts on the gas prices and if Himiway's actually helped you like save a bit of money?
Well, in my case, yeah, for the last 6 months, because this has been the time when gas prices have, really more than doubled. And when you're retired and you're on a fixed income, your income is fixed monthly. You do have to manage your expenses, and when you look at when the cost of filling up your car with gas went from $30 to $100, being on a fixed income, that's a very substantial increase. And if you're going to, like for example, with me, where I've been using the e-bike and I put, like I said, about 1,800 miles on it in 6 months. It's like roughly 300 miles a month. If I do that on a car, that's like a tank of gas. So I've saved, essentially, other than a little bit of cost to charge the battery on the e-bike, I've saved $100 a month.
That's nice. Good for you, man.
For $600, that pays for my breakfast that I go with, visit my friends. So yeah, it's definitely a factor. Even when the price of gas would drop back to what people would consider normal, half of what it was at the peak, you're still looking at saving $50 a month, which I don't know about you, but breakfast normally is about $10 or $12. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's like that covers a month's worth of breakfast for me, and that's kind of how I think about it. I'm looking at trying to conserve my money.
We live on a pretty tight budget. Try to keep everything controlled, but higher gas prices do make us think more about it. We really don't have the versatility to not use the cars, so that's unfortunate. But it definitely shows us that maybe we can do other things. And especially with the friends in our circle, I think they've seen that maybe this is creating a need for other alternatives, because we all do worry about the gas prices. But realistically, as Gary said, they're going to come back down. They're going to go back up. So will it happen? We'll have to see.
Here's hoping. In terms of, I'm trying to see if I can get myself a car, but honestly, at the moment, may just stick to the Himiway. Right, in any case, I would like to move on to a sub-sub, which is the benefits you have as, let's say, a larger gentleman or lady. Now, I'm about 5'8" or 5'7". I told my wife I was 5'9" when I met her. It's a good thing that she didn't know in the first place. But I always found that when I was on a smaller bike, like just a regular mountain bike, I kind of looked bigger. You know what I mean? And in England, folk can be very cruel. But when I got onto the Himiway myself, I found that I looked a little more measured up with the bicycle. Now, talking from big man to slightly less big man, we're sideways here, how did you feel about the bike in terms of aesthetic or in terms of weight loss? Like you said, like you don't really keep track. I'm assuming you don't really care too much. I myself am hopelessly vain, which is not a good thing as a gentleman. But would you say that this is a good bike for a larger person or a large person even, if they're fixing to lose weight or they just want to enjoy a bike without looking like a gorilla on a little tricycle?
Yeah.
If I was to paint you a picture.
With the big size of these bikes, that was one thing that drew me to it. It's like you said, you look like a monkey on a football. So the bigger size is more balanced aesthetically, which is great. And this was one of the things that was important to me was the strong motor. So 750 watt motor, I knew it could move me. But also, a long time ago, getting on a bicycle, even as a taller man, I have to raise the seat so high, then I feel like I'm up in the air and it's not very comfy. So the bigger frame, the bigger bike, the big strong motor, it works perfect for me.
Wonderful.
A lot more comfortable on the bigger frame.
And also there's the uphill support. Right? If you've got the bigger thighs and not in really the way you want in terms of musculature, it can be quite a epic to just try and get to the top of a hill without making a fool of yourself. All that sweat dripping off. I'm still getting acclimatized to the current climate I have in my state. So it doesn't like me. I grew up without sun.
Yeah, this is a big one when I do take it to work. If I took a bicycle, I'd probably get to work and I'd just be dripping sweat. With the Himiway Cruiser, this is much better because I'm not sweating bullets by the time I get to work and I don't have to sit and sweat the first couple hours of the day.
It's not great when it turns cold, is it?
No.
Yeah, one of the big things is with the multiple gears, it makes it so much easier to pedal. And in my case, that was one of the features that I was really impressed.
So you were quite into the gears, were you?
Oh yeah, with gears, I definitely use those when I'm pedaling, and I would say, go back to earlier in the conversation about one of the things that impressed me. The first time I got on, and once I got used to the little bit of a delay, and I actually started pedaling, naturally you want to play with it. So I went through the different gears. I was amazed at how easy it is to pedal that, given how bulky and how much, how heavy the frame is, how much the overall bike weighs. I was very surprised from an ease of pedaling standpoint with the different gear ratios.
Yeah, it's very smooth. I remember.
And to your point about, don't get me wrong, I'm using it for exercise, but I'm not out there. My main goal isn't to lose 20 pounds. It's to, have a good all-around exercise.
So yours is more about maintenance rather than improvement.
Yeah, I'm not looking to be, a weightlifter or anything like that at my age. I'm more interested in getting a good exercise to, just to
keep everything ticking along.
As they say.
I'd really like to get my dad on one of those. I think he needs more improvement than I do, but old folk be stubborn. It's nice to know that you're actually quite open-minded about e-bikes. We do have a topic later that does talk about the various different ways that we can pair up between e-bikes and various other forms. One more topic we can talk about, we've already touched on it a bit, which is impressing folk or just general impression. when you are on your bikes, whether it is to work, whether you're just going out on the track, do you find that aesthetic is more important, or rather its functionality?
For me, functionality. Definitely functionality.
So how would you say, like, our model right here, what would you say actually gives you benefits in terms of functionality there, on your daily life?
So for functionality, I can, like I said, go and pick up a gallon of milk.
Aye.
This is great. For the way the bike runs, I can extend my rides out a lot longer. So if I've got a very hilly route, I can go much further than if I was just on a normal cycle.
Yeah. Gary, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. From the functionality standpoint, I like the aspect of the ease of pedaling, and as I said before, with the different gear changes with my knee, it makes it much easier to be able to pedal a further distance. And the bike is very stable from that standpoint. It may look like a bulky piece of equipment, but it's actually very stable, and I was pleasantly surprised at how easy it is from that aspect. And I had the step-through model because stepping over is difficult for me. But, and I also like the whenever I need to switch to the motor or switch back to pedaling, it's very easy. And in my case, I had with the hydraulic brakes.
Yeah.
That's really great because
Definitely.
I don't know about you, but when I was younger, on having the mechanical handbrakes many times led to an accident.
Yeah.
Because of over stress.
Do you feel like you're able to get back in touch with those younger days?
Oh, absolutely. That's it's taken me back 20 plus years because for the longest period of time I hadn't ridden a bike at all of any type. This is getting me back out on the road, and it kind of at my age it brings back memories of things that I used to do, and I also know what things not to try. Which is a good way to prevent accidents.
Yeah, no wheelies, no mounting machine guns on it, that kind of thing.
Unlike Ryan, I'm not into the off-road stuff at my age. I'm more into the riding on the road and more for the casual type of exercise as opposed to pulling the crazy stunts in the woods.
Speaking of crazy stunts in the woods, Ryan, have you been pulling crazy stunts in the woods?
I get brave sometimes, but not so much. Not so much. So in my younger years, most definitely. And I think a great thing about the bike is it has controlled me a little bit. It limits my crazy from what I want to do outdoors. In my younger years, riding motorcycles, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, yes, we would do a lot of unsafe things. But now I'm much more conscious about the dangerous things that I do.
Aye.
So I try to keep it pretty safe on this.
Lovely. I want to rush. I just get out of a chair when I don't expect it. At least these days. I feel the same way, actually. Going on the e-bike, I don't feel like tired all the time. Yep. Especially with like a full-time job as well. It's going home exhausted, going to sleep, and you're still exhausted when you wake up. It's not great, especially if you've been on a bike, your legs are just on fire the next day. Now, we're going to move on to a slightly different topic now. Lazy. Fat. I mean, kinda, but that's not everyone. No ambition, and losers.
If you think I'm cheating, that's your problem, not mine.
Like I said, if I didn't have my e-bike, I probably wouldn't go out and do it.
So even if you had a regular bicycle, you probably would bother.
Because of the time constraints, or the just knowing that I could get back.
Further every time on a Himiway.